What's up, guys? Today I have a few things to talk about in terms of the price of Bitcoin. First, I would like to show you this chart, which is made by Jacob Canfield. A lot of you probably know this guy. He's pretty reliable in terms of the technical analysis, pretty respectful person in the space. So what is the thing which he pointed out is this divergence, bearish divergence, hidden bearish divergence on a daily time frame of Bitcoin price. He shows that these highs on the price are going down, but these highs on RSI are going up. And generally, this is bearish hidden bearish divergence, which would lead to the price drop if this divergence will play out. There is a couple of things to mention, to point out about this divergence. First of all, is that there are some intermediate peaks in between those which he used to show this divergence, to draw that, and technically you need to include those peaks when you make this chart. But the point is, everything is relative, of course, in technical analysis, and technically you might need to include those, for example, those peaks here. If you'll do that, there is no divergence, but still there might be some strength in this one, and although it's not perfect, but it still has a reasonable chance to play out. He points out as well that this weekly time frame price is hitting the level which is based on the previous highs on bear market in 2018, and we also were talking about the same, pretty much the same thing, and this is like 8,250. The second level is 9,600. So if the price will go above $9,600, then we might say that this downtrend is pretty much over, or at least it has a very high chance to be over. Until then, the bearish move, the bearish bear market is still in cards. And this, I'm like 100% agree with Jacob, is that the RSI chart right now is the value of RSI is in the zone, which is again very similar to the zone which we had before in the bear market in 2018, but we are in the kind of in the middle between the two levels. The lower level defines the capitulation point and the end of the bear market eventually, very soon, and the upper level is the start, or like the threshold before transferring to the bull market. So far we are below this upper level, and it's very close to this peak over here. So I think, and pretty much the same which Jacob Canfield says, if the RSI chart will go above this upper level, it will be a very nice indication for the fact that we are ending this bear trend and we are about to go higher. So until then, we should be very cautious. Also, well, he actually says that in his opinion it should be $9,900 to be made by the price of Bitcoin in order to say that we are trending bullish. But until then, yeah, it's not confirmed yet. And another thing which he pointed out is this CME futures chart. First of all, it's seemingly we broke this major downtrend. Of course, this is pretty much the same as you can find on the general BTC spot price chart, but there is another line here right now, and we had a rejection from that. Pretty much the same point as the 200 days moving average. So until we are below this moving average, which served as a support here and here, we cannot say that we had a reversal. And the same hidden bearish divergence presented here, we can extend it even further to September or something. So pretty much clear that we need to go above those lines, those price levels, in order to say that we are turning bullish. Not yet, not just yet, guys. And a couple of more things which I would like to point out. Speaking about the general trends, yes, you can actually make this resistance, which now has 2 points of the touches, like here, here, and here, and also you can have the support, general like long-term support, which we also had a pullback from, and this line which was support resistance many times before, and it also confluent with this price action, with this bounce from this resistance. And yeah, in fact, we have like 1 month, maybe a little bit more, until the end of February, until we will move one way or another above or below. I wouldn't be actually surprised if we'll go sideways for a while and completely neglect this resistance line, but in any case, I don't think that it will take that long. I would like to point out our BitMEX funding, and not ours, but in general BitMEX funding and premium index, which has, you remember, like if it is positive, then we can anticipate the drop in the price. If it is negative, we can expect the rise in the price. Again, positive, drop, negative for a while, rise. But you see, actually recently it turned positive again, so it moved from this area to this area. It's very early, maybe it will not happen, but this negative period was pretty long, and now we are entering this area. But also we need to consider the fact that there is a premium index which is yellow and funding rate which is blue, and so far we have only premium index turning positive. We don't have these blue lines going up above the zero line yet. If we will see that, then we might say yes, it's probably another phase like that, and again, until the end of this phase, or maybe at the end of this phase, we may expect the price going lower. And speaking about the accumulation, so we may say that here we have some kind of accumulation by huge players which like have huge positions in the Bitcoin. And yeah, for example, here this is Bybit, right? Bybit futures. Here we have relatively high volume. We can look at Binance. Again, it is comparable to what we had before, relatively high, so at least we don't have the decline in the volume. Finally, BitMEX, yes, BitMEX also, at least we don't see the decline. We kind of broke this decline in trend line in the volume. So one may say that, well, we have the accumulation here, the volume is there, but those are all futures based, like margin trading platforms. Look at the Bitstamp, volume is declining, very low. Look at the Coinbase, also not impressive. What else? Bitfinex also declining in terms of the volume. So it means that all the volume which we have here, all the rise, is basically due to the liquidation of the stops, or maybe just triggering some of the stops. Well, sorry, liquidation of the positions, or triggering some stops on the way up, sometimes on the way down as well. So it means that there is basically no accumulation. All the volume is just due to the short-term traders. So in that way, there is no confirmation of this accumulation. Okay. And the last thing which I was going to show you today is so-called kimchi-premium chart. Kimchi-premium is the ratio between the price of Bitcoin on Korean exchanges and the price of Bitcoin on exchanges which are devaluated in dollars, which trade Bitcoin with dollars, right? And you can see here that as soon as we started the ascending kind of channel in this ratio, and you might know that this is basically because on the Korean exchanges we have the price of Bitcoin a bit higher than in the rest of the world, because like Koreans like to gamble, they like to pay more sometimes and exaggerate the price move. So anyway, before the major rise in the price of Bitcoin, we had the rise in this ratio, and it was, we can actually extend this channel until $14,000 because it was like another peak here. So we had the rise of this kimchi-premium ratio, and then after that we had the descending channel here. And you may notice actually that while we have the low in this channel, we have the high in terms of the price of Bitcoin. This green chart is the price on Bitstamp, and here low. Here low, here was high on the premium, low in the price, high on the price, low in the premium. So the point is, while here we have a rise in this kimchi-premium ratio before the major rise of the price in the price of Bitcoin, here instead, while we had the rise in the price of Bitcoin, we didn't have the preceded rise of this ratio just yet. So the pattern remains the same. It's of course it's not like 100% indicator as usual, but it is also another sign that this rise is not strong enough. This is not, probably, most likely, I would say, most likely not the reversal. So as soon as we don't have the major break of this downtrend, we might go actually higher, but at that point price will go lower. It will be another confirmation that the pattern remains, and then we might hit the channel edge somewhere around here, and the price will be much lower. I don't know where it will be, but at least lower than current value. So again, that means that the downtrend will continue. Okay guys, I hope that I covered a lot, and maybe something of that would be useful for you. And for today, that is it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.